We are joined now by co-chair of the RNC, Lara Trump. And Lara, I just want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. How would you describe your reaction tonight to former President Trump's performance?
I thought it was an amazing performance. He was calm, concise, direct, spoke directly to the American people and, said what he needed to say. I think you saw the difference between a strong, very clear and obvious leader and a very weak president right now with Joe Biden. So, look, obviously we were very happy with his performance, and I love the fact that he got to talk, Donald Trump, about his 4 years in office, about the things he actually did for this country. He, of course, had to call out some hoaxes and some lies that Joe Biden threw his way. And unfortunately for the people of this country, you didn't really hear that from Joe Biden. He didn't give us a clear idea as to how he's going to bring down inflation, how he's going to secure our southern border, how we're going to get rid of all the wars around the world. And so this was an incredibly strong performance for Donald Trump. I think the American people saw this. They remember back to when he was president of the United States. And I think they want their country back. They know who can deliver it to them. It's Donald J. Trump.
Your thoughts on President Biden's performance?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I felt a little embarrassed and sad for him. It was a tough performance for him, there's no doubt. And I think everybody said, how will Joe Biden do in this debate? Will he be able to stand up there and debate Donald Trump? And unfortunately, it was hard to understand him at times. I think certainly he didn't seem to have a full grasp of the topics. It almost seems like he was maybe a little over-rehearsed. I think he probably, over the 7 days he spent at Camp David, was rehearsing a lot of lines with his team. And sometimes it didn't seem to make total sense. And so I don't believe that many people could watch that performance of Joe Biden and come away feeling confident that he's the current president of the United States, let alone re-elect him for another 4 years in the White House.
Prior to tonight, Trump had expressed some concerns about the mics being cut and no live audience. Do you think that either impacted his performance?
Actually, not at all. I think he does thrive whenever there's a great audience. We all know that he has these rallies pretty much weekly or bi-weekly now with tens of thousands of people. He loves an audience. He loves to get people, excited. But it didn't seem to impact him at all. And the mics being cut, I think there were a certain number of times where you saw Donald Trump wanting to respond to things, and maybe he wasn't able to right in that moment. But he always came back during the next question and clarified his position on things. And so, look, we knew that this was going to be a different sort of debate. I think no matter what, we knew that Donald Trump would deliver. I think he delivered an amazing performance this evening.
At one point, Biden asked Trump directly if he would denounce the Proud Boys and insurrectionists. Donald Trump did not answer. Does he denounce the Proud Boys and what happened on January 6th?
Well, I think the problem that we have with January 6th is that it has been very focused on, and to Donald Trump's point, which he talked about in the debate, you had cities around this country like Portland, like Minneapolis, like Seattle, that during those riots in the summer of 2020, were some of them almost burned to the ground. And you didn't see a lot of people being held accountable for that. It seems like there was a lot of extra focus put on the folks that some of them just happened to be at the Capitol on January 6th. These people had their lives ruined, their jobs taken away, literally destroyed just for physically being in the proximity. And I think that's a very frustrating reality to a lot of people. Donald Trump's words were very clear that day. We want to have our words peacefully and patriotically heard. And anyone who wants to construe that as something else, unfortunately, is trying to lie about it. And so he is obviously not happy that that day happened. And I think that he, rightly so, said that maybe they should have had 10,000 National Guard troops, but that was up to Nancy Pelosi. And, it's a shame that that is where the focus is, because I think the American people really want to understand, how am I going to be able to afford my life? How am I going to be able to afford to put groceries on the kitchen table, fill up my gas tank? How are we going to close the southern border? Those are the issues that the American people have very clearly said they want to hear about, and you did hear that from Donald Trump this evening.
And inflation, immigration, obviously big issues going into tonight that were discussed as well. Tonight, at one point, the former president said that people are coming across the border by the millions under Joe Biden's administration, taking Black and Hispanic jobs. What are Black and Hispanic jobs?
Well, I think what he means is that, predominantly black communities in this country oftentimes is where you see these illegal immigrants end up. And whenever you're talking about things like affordable housing, for example, you have people who've been waiting in line for decades to get affordable housing, and these illegals who should not even be in our country are getting bumped up in line to get these houses. These are oftentimes the jobs that are going to be afforded to people who, again, illegally came here, who broke our laws to come to this country. It does disproportionately hurt the black communities in this country and the minority communities overall. And so it is a real shame to see that this has happened. It's dangerous for our country to have an open border. Right now we have 50 known ISIS terrorists who are just free in our country. That's a terrifying statistic. It only takes one person with bad intentions to cause major harm here in America. And so we want to close our southern border. We need it for safety, security. We need it for the future of this country, to save jobs and keep jobs for actual American citizens. And I think the American people remember that under Donald Trump's leadership, we did have a secure and a closed border, and I believe they're going to vote for him because of that.
And Lara, lastly, before I let you go, as you know, both campaigns prior to tonight committed to 2 debates, one that ABC is going to be hosting on September 10th. Provided that Joe Biden is on that stage, will Donald Trump be there as well?
Donald Trump will be there. He said anytime, any place. He was here tonight. He's looking forward to September. In fact, he said, I want more debates, not less. So if anyone wants to host a debate in between, I can promise you Donald Trump will show up. He will be on that debate stage.
Lara Trump, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.